Alright guys, Man City have just absolutely obliterated Leeds by 7 goals to 0. And in hindsight, I think we probably should have seen it coming because Leeds were absolutely atrocious defensively. The first goal, they made a couple of errors in it at least. Tyler Roberts didn't track his man properly, and then Ilham Melier left it too long to come out. He should have come out earlier. And then also, once Phil Foden had the shot, how on earth has Stuart Dallas not cleared that? He's tried to put his foot through it as much as possible to clear it, when all it was just a side footed 20 yards job, not a boot it out of the stadium. And it completely skimmed it, and it went behind him and into the net, making it 1-0. Yeah. And then City made it 2 about 5 minutes later. Really good cross by Riyad Mahrez, and Jack Grealish got his noggin to it and managed to sort of put it past Ilham Melier in goal to make it 2-0. And third came from Kevin De Bruyne. I'm just going to take about 20 minutes going through all the goals. Kevin De Bruyne being slipped through, and he just, hit it with a fair bit of power on his weak foot past Melier. I think it was in the near post. And that made it 3-0 at half time. The fourth came just after half time from Riyad Mahrez. He cut inside and aimed to go for the near corner, but it took a deflection off Junior Firpo and went the other corner entirely. And the fifth, brilliant strike from Kevin De Bruyne. I think the fifth was by De Bruyne, I'm not even sure. But if that was the fifth goal, it was a brilliant strike by De Bruyne, and that came just a couple of minutes after City had another goal disallowed, marginally offside. Foden it was who scored it, and that came from a lapse in concentration from Rafinha. He just had the ball nicked off him. De Bruyne played it through to Mahrez. Mahrez squared it to Foden, but Foden was just offside. But De Bruyne's goal was amazing, and De Bruyne looked back to his best tonight. Obviously, there is something in that Leeds were awful defensively. But, it's not a bad sign scoring 2, is it? And the sixth came from John Stones. There was a couple of rebounded efforts. Melier made a couple of decent saves, but John Stones absolutely lashed it in the roof of the net to make it 6, and then Nathan Ake off the bench made it 7 with a header from a corner. It was actually quite a good header, to be fair to Ake. And just absolutely like a demolition job from City. Leeds were just so poor defensively. So many times their players were out of position. Diego Llorente for me was one of the worst of the lot tonight. Just so many times where he was not where he should have been. And with Luke Ayling playing centre-back, who isn't really a centre-back when he's playing in his best position, he's a right-back really. You don't need your centre-back partner out of position constantly when you're in an unfamiliar position yourself. And it was just an absolute nightmare for Leeds. And in attack they just didn't really offer anything either. I think the highlight was probably Stuart Dallas hitting the post with quite a good strike, to be fair, in the second half, but other than that there wasn't a lot. What else? Fernandinho came off the bench for City, and he still looks an absolute beast. I don't know how old he is now. He's got to be 36 at least, possibly 37. But he's still just so much more sharp than some of Leeds' midfielders. There were a few times where, I don't know who it was, Rafinha, who I quite like, but definitely had an off game tonight. Adam Forshaw or Stuart Dallas. He just outmuscles them, and like is still so much more athletic than them, even at his age. And he just powers through the midfield. He is he's been one of the most overlooked players. Okay, he's got his recognition more recently over the past 2 or 3 years, but for so many years for City, under like the Pellegrini era and the first couple of years under Guardiola, he was so overlooked as one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. It was criminal, really, to be honest. And yeah, it's good that he's starting to get the recognition. Well, he's got it now, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's not even like he's getting. It looks like he could go on for another 3 or 4 years yet. To be honest, he's incredible, really. But tonight also was definitely Jack Grealish's best night in a Man City shirt so far, I felt. He was constantly wanting the ball at his feet whenever he did get it. It didn't. At times for City, it's looked like he takes on his man, but he's always looking to draw a foul. But tonight he was properly going for it and trying to beat his man. It felt more like take him on and go past him, which is definitely an improvement on maybe his more recent showings. But he hasn't been poor recently. He just hasn't lived up to the expectations, I don't think, of what City were wanting in a £100 million signing. But yeah, who else played well for City? John Stones had a good game considering he was out of position a lot of the time. But I think the thing is, with a lot of this, is we can say like a lot of City players played well tonight, and they did. But Leeds were shocking. But I don't think Leeds will go down because they will get enough points, or they will have enough games where it's actually them beating the team they're up against by a few goals that will keep them up, especially if Patrick Bamford comes back. They do miss him a lot up front leading the line. And also they have got quite a few injuries throughout the team. In defence, they're missing quite a few players, and also in midfield. So when they come back, hopefully things should change for Leeds. But as it stands, they are a mess in the central midfield. It's Calvin Phillips partly as well, isn't it? He's a massive miss for Leeds. But yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much all I've got to say. 3 points for City and another 7 goals. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.